Hello and welcome to episode 43 of our Timberborn Update 7 Folktails Hard Mode playthrough here in Cycle 53, Day 3. Still in temperate season, for now. We'll find out very shortly just how much longer that will last. And last time, we did a whole bunch of stuff in a whole bunch of places, and we got another thing set up here. We're edging ever closer to the end of this playthrough. But there's still a couple things we want to do first. And the very first thing we have to do is plant these maple trees. I completely forgotten we didn't have a forester up here, so this Stepper Shack is going to temporarily go away and be replaced by a forester, so these maple trees can be planted here. That will solve that problem once and for all, and that's looking good. We still have plenty of water coming in here and here and in here. That is all well and good. We have everything being irrigated nicely. And one of the comments on the last video that I thought was really good, I can't believe I hadn't thought of it myself, was we should put a dam here so that this will retain some water during a drought, or the very first part of a drought at the very least. And we probably should also have one up top here if we're going to have stuff actually be retained. So that is going to require putting in some more ladders once again, just so that can get built. And then, of course, here as well, we'll just have to have these guys go all the way up, and we're going to have a connection to some path somewhere, which I don't think is going to be possible, unless we do a little bit of shenanigans here. And this is going to be interesting. I think they can walk down here and start building something. Maybe. Now, without taking these trees out, because you know we have to have trees. If we put a zipline station down in the water here, it's not going to actually function because it will be flooded, so we will have to put in some platforms instead. And I want to make sure this is still in range for building. Looks like that is. If all of these are still in range for building, and they are, then that's fine. Then this one can get connected to here, and then from there, we will have to put in that little thing there. I know this seems really stupid, alright, but just trust me. Trust me, we have to be able to get them up here to do this. Ooh, it's a bad tide too. Okay. Well, not that that matters. We basically bad tide proofed everything. But since it was brought up last episode, let's double check once again that these are good to go. They should be absolutely no problem. This says close above contamination. Both of those are set. This is set to close above contamination. This is set to close below contamination. So this will open, and all of the bad water coming out of here will go away. It'll be totally fine. Absolutely no problems. And that's the only thing we've really messed with recently, so we have to look into that. So we got our bots building all sorts of stuff down here. I kind of don't think they're going to be able to do too much more with this without us actually having stuff taken care of. But if, you know, for the duration of the bad tide, we could have some water in here, that would be great. Because that's going to help irrigate down here. Even though we have this, it really is something we should have thought of before we, you know, took care of everything else. Just got to go ahead and get that hooked up there. I don't think it's going to be a problem because we have 424 bots. It should be okay. Should be absolutely okay. Other stuff we want to do today is we want to start moving beavers into this housing complex. And we need to put in some food storage. And there's been a bunch of cool ideas you guys have had regarding that. I like the idea of the food tower. I don't think this building is really set up to do that. So we'll figure something out. But we do have water storage here, and there is food available in the food caves that are down underneath all of that. Those are working quite happily. Everything is looking good. Selfishly really want to see this completed in the next 2 point whatever days, but I don't know. We'll see. How are we looking on our maple trees? Okay, they are being planted. That is looking good. We still have this area. Some of you want to see this covered up. Some of you really don't want to see it covered up. So what I may do is I may actually run a poll that you guys can vote in so I can get a very specific, concrete idea of who wants to see what. I've also said I'm going to fix these windmills. I have not done that yet. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We also still need to do this. I'm aware. I think what ends up happening with this is probably going to be tied into what we're doing with the rest of this industrial area. If we want to cover this up, then we can move the metal stuff underneath and then just cover the whole thing. And then everything gets hidden away nice and hiding-like. or whatever you want to assign to that. If we don't want to cover this up, then we might have to approach it a little bit differently. But for now, I think this is still just fine as it is. You know, we have plenty of storage. The only thing we're really lacking is trees, which is, you know, the whole reason why we built this. And this is going to, you know, start having some benefits in the next maybe 10 days or so. 5 to 10 days, some of these trees are going to start being cut down, and we'll have access to the wood, and that's all connected to everything here. So on and so forth. Plenty to get into. But aside from that, I received word last week that one of my favorite mods, Lanterns and Torii Gates, has been updated, and we've got it. So I really want to do some nice decorating with these things, and because all of these do give aesthetic benefits, and the reason I like these over the base game lanterns is because these can be placed on paths, so you don't have to have a dedicated square form. They look really nice, and some of them even have animations, like these paper lanterns will actually swing a little bit like they're in the breeze. And of course we have these things that we can place in any manner of locations, and I've got a couple of ideas. But if this is supposed to be our, you know, best of the best, richest, most prestigious beaver area, then I think it deserves to have some very nice lighting. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start building these paper lanterns, and depending on how you want to attach these to the paths, you have a couple different options. If you put those in like that, I think that's going to look nice. This is also not the lodge, the dance hall. So, you know, a little bit of decoration there is not going to hurt anybody. We have our frog statues that are, you know, doing frog statue activities. But these are cool because they have an area of effect of 2 blocks. So that actually covers some of this housing here. And what we can do is we can continue putting these things out in front of others as well. So like right here is a great spot to put that. That's going to cover most of these houses. And then the only ones that aren't covered are right here and right here. And that can also be fixed by putting some of these guys just right there. And that is going to look fantastic. Once it's all built, it's going to look really, really nice. So I love to see that. Absolutely love this mod. I'm so happy it's back. We can also kind of do some of this sim stuff up here, but I'm not going to use in as many as the fancy ones. We've got these modern lanterns that do use the treated planks, but we have 1,000 of those. It's fine. I think that would make more sense to have them over here. So if I put these in front of these bushes, that is going to, you know, give pretty good coverage on the path to all these beavers walking through here to go into the pool, and that is A-okay. I don't think I have anything that will really fit here unless I were to do either these street lanterns or these indoor lanterns, which, as the description says, can be used outdoors. But if I were to come in here, oh, I could actually fit those. Okay, well maybe we do, maybe we don't. In the past, I've put the paper lanterns up here, but they're not really going to play nice because I have this little roofing structure here, so we can't really do that. But a little bit of variety, I think, is good. And visually, see, look at this. Doesn't that just look great? They're just swinging in the breeze, or the non-existent breeze that is approximated by animated swinging lanterns. You get the idea. I just think that looks really cool. So, moving on past that, we can get this in triple speed. Still have 2.2 days left before the bad tide, and I think they're going to be able to get this taken care of here. I'm starting to feel that lag. So that's working. We've also, monuments-wise, lag. Okay, so maybe the lanterns might not have been a fantastic choice, because I think they're going to induce a lot of lag, so we'll see what happens. But the Fountain of Joy has been built down there. These monuments are looking good here. I said I was going to put another Fountain of Joy in, and I asked for your opinions on it. And there's a lot of different stuff, a lot of different things you guys had to say about that. And I'm not really sure what the best way to implement that is going to be. I think it's probably kind of unavoidable with this specific configuration for us to put in a water dump or something. We could, in theory, come over here to these water sources and create a little channel here underground that would then feed into where we would put this Fountain of Joy. But the problem with that is the depth that we would have to go. Have to have this go down one in the center, and then we'd have to have below that probably. So that's 2 blocks down, take this. That's layer 14, so it'd have to be on layer 12. That is lower than this, which, you know, is not a bad thing. But because of the way that, you know, the bad tide diversion would have to work, we'd have to really expand this area over here. And honestly, it's episode, what, 43? I know I just said it and I already forgot. Episode 43. That's a whole lot of work for us to put into something where we're trying to, you know, wrap the thing up in a satisfactory manner. Man, I miss satisfactory. But we're trying to wrap things up, not extend things unnecessarily. So if we can accomplish the same goal and maybe just, you know, deal with putting the fluid dump in instead of, you know, waiting half an episode for stuff to get blasted out and this, so on and so forth, then I think that is probably going to have to be just fine. So all that being said, we have this area here as well. They're still working on... Oh, they've got that in. Okay. They got that in. All right. So, tell you what. That has given us opportunities to take some of that stuff back out. Take these back out. Because I also want to, like, right here do something. So we can put one of these big Torii gates up here. Now we have this great wooden one, which in actual Japan is like in the sea or in a body of water or something. So probably want to do something similar to that. We have this guy, this great metal one. That would probably look pretty cool right here, but doesn't cover all of the lag, doesn't cover all of these things. So I was thinking maybe it would be better somewhere over here, but this is too close and is not going to fit. So we have the option, depending on how we want to arrange things, we have the option to extend this a little bit, depending on where our Fountain of Joy up here goes. And, of course, we can also put stuff up here in a way that's going to look pretty nice, and that would cover this entire housing as well. I think that would be that'll look pretty cool. These do, of course, require different materials, and we have all of them, so that is fine. I don't think there's any reason for these guys to come up here. But if we go ahead and just pop this in, say, right here at the top, that's going to look pretty nice. And I'm going to go ahead and start. The reason I hadn't done that yet was because I wanted to make sure there's not really much reason for them to come over here, because this is going to cut everything off. But we can just restore access if we need to. Not a big deal. So, if we blast these center 3 out, we know that is all we have to put in this guy, because that's how we have this done here. But it has to have water going into it, and that's where this gets a little complicated. But I had an idea, and that was, what if we did something just completely stupid here? And by completely stupid, I mean still kind of cool, but objectively overkill. What if we made like an underground water dump, which for this to be what I think it's going to be, it's going to have to be a triple dynamite here. Then that will be a tunnel that will go down into here, and that's where the water dump will go. Now, that's also going to start causing problems with the water levels up here. So, what's going to happen is the water dump can't be buried underneath here. It's going to have to be buried somewhere at the same height as whatever we want it to be, which means the underground water dump is actually going to need to be up here. And we have... Okay, bad tide started. I still have to be paranoid about this. 25 days. Oh, this flooded. Why did this flood? That should not have flooded. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. I accidentally created... okay, so this dam actually does not need to be there. That can go away. Because that's raising the level of this entire thing, which is causing water to come out here, which is fine because, you know, we planned for it, but... Okay. Well, that problem will solve itself before too long. It just has to, you know, it just has to be what it's going to be. Anyway, hey, this is done. Cool. Wow, indeed. Looks nice. I've realized that I put this on the wrong side is what I was trying to get at. This is the one that has to be super deep, and then from there we tunnel underneath until we get to this area here. It's going to be a process, and I know I just said I didn't want to have this giant to-do about building tunnels everywhere, but It's a lot less to build a tunnel to here than to build a tunnel through here and then redo this during a bad tide and all that stuff. I think it's going to be fine. So, the water dump in question that we're going to have to build is going to need to be at this level 14. This is level 15. This is level 16. So, based on the clearances, which we can go ahead and check, I actually can't place that there, but I can place it there if we hit pause. Come up here to our regular platform, and I can already tell you we're going to have a 2-height thing just to accommodate this thing. It's not going to play nice, and I can demonstrate. Wait, what the heck? All right, never mind. That's what we're doing then. I didn't think that was going to work. Anyway, yeah, this is going to end up having a little descent here. We'll do a staircase here, and then this will be tunneled out, and then that'll just have a thing going all the way down under to that, and it's going to look, I think, pretty cool. So that's going to be the first project we're going to work on today, get that taken care of. Some other aesthetic improvements and different terraforming things we're going to have to do, and then we're going to talk about what else we're going to do before the very end of this series, because I think a lot of the stuff that you guys have been saying about, like, right here with this thing, that's going to require time-lapsing, and I'm going to have to actually plan it off camera so it's going to look good, or as good as I can make it, and then that's going to have to be what it's going to be. But since we're already over here, this is finished, which means I need to become a forester and not that thing, and instead we will put in the tapper shack that was already here, and now we have more maple trees, which should help us with our syrup production. It might still not be enough. We'll see what happens. These guys are ready to go. Hit that detonate button. Hit B for boom on that one. And now, before we get too comfortable here, gonna have to get rid of that at the 2x. That's gonna have some stairs down. We'll leave a path here. We may need to remove this dirt to place the thing. The water dump, fluid dump, whatever you want to call it, dump. But we will get there in due time. Now, this is the lowest level here that we currently have access to. This needs to come all the way out to what's over here in order for this to, you know, make sense. The reason that's so deep is so that we have this... Well, actually, we could have gone one less down, but yeah, we already did it. It's fine. That's going to have to come out to about here. One more. Pretty sure. What is this? 68,247. What is this? Hey, 68,247. So this right here is going to be the water dump. This is the one that's going to go down once this tunnel is actually excavated. So we'll keep our eyes on that. We obviously need to put in some ladders here so they have the ability to actually get down into the tunnel. And very, very soon, well, theoretically, that's going to be taken care of, and we're going to be in pretty good shape. And this is also going to green this area up a little bit. Maybe not perfectly, but it's going to make it look a little bit better. And that is pretty good. Now, we also talked about food over here, and I talked about building a food tower, and I talked about how this wasn't really the ideal thing. But remember, we only have to have 8 warehouses, and if I expand this thing, right now this would fit 2 inside, and we could stack it up 4 times, or I could expand this a couple more, and then we could stack it up twice. Keep in mind we also have, thank you lag, we also have this zipline pylon here that is kind of in the way. Not really. We could also bury some of this. We could actually have it be 4 stacks of 2, 2 stacks of 4, whatever the math actually works out to. And that would be fine, but this thing would be in the way. So I think what's going to make the most sense is to elevate this 1 block above here, which means, well, this would still be here. We wouldn't be able to build this like this. Obviously, we'd have to go up 1 more level beyond that. Oh, I heard booming. Okay, we'll take care of that in a minute. This right here probably would be, honestly, it would be easier to just put dynamite on here and it would take less wood, which we're trying to, you know, not do stupid things with. So I suppose I'll just go ahead and put in that. We're going to come back to this. I think we can make that work. But just to demonstrate what I'm talking about, the lowest level of warehouse we could do would be on top of this. And these are 2 blocks high, so this would be 8 blocks higher than this right here. This is number 18. If we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, you hit that limit. So if we want it to be an actual earthen tower, that's as high as we can go, including the top of the building, which would allow us to put in 1 warehouse like this at that level, which is unfortunate, and there's not really too much else I can do about that. But don't forget, we also have the ability to use levees, and we can have the base of this thing be earthen and then, you know, come out on top a little bit. And kind of what I was talking about earlier, I don't have to have this paused anymore. Just want to make sure that this doesn't get actually built. One of the things that we could do is just leave this like this, or we can come out to here, see what this is like. I think that's at the, yeah, that's at the maximum height there. Also, I haven't finished all of these things. Go ahead and, I guess, just start doing those. But if we had that go up 1 level, and then from that top bit, right where it ends the amount of earth you can put in, then we came in with levees and then built off of that with the help of either overhangs or making overhangs out of the dirt. That might look kind of cool. Different things to think about. Things are looking okay here. This is done, which means both of these have to come out. This, regardless, this has to be blasted out here. And I think I can put in... See, this is height number 14. This is height number 14, so I just put my triple there. Get that blasted out, and then I should, in theory, be able to put this here. It might complain about clearances, in which case we're going to have to demolish the dirt on top and then rebuild it, because we proved that we could do that. We'll come back and check on that. But I like the idea of this, even though this isn't matching right here, this isn't quite in the center, this is conforming to the terrain. We could just keep on doing what we're doing over here, respect this thing being where it is, and that be totally fine. We also could make this a station instead of a zipline pylon, which I think probably would be the right move anyway, because this is going to be a pretty important place for the beavers to get to, since it's going to have all of the food delivered and water delivered, and then, you know, by way of that, have access to here. So I think that... I do a whole lot of thinking, huh? Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's going to be the right thing to do, which is going to require that we excavate around this area, disconnect all of this, and so on and so forth. And looking at this, that is, what, like 4 blocks? 4 blocks high? I guess this is probably something I should have known. This is 2, this sticks up 1, and it goes down 1 more. So we do have to blast out 3 from the base here. And I can't place it under this, so we are going to have to disconnect these things. But for the time being, we just need to get these 2 pieces of dynamite put in place, and then the rest of this can get removed. Obviously, I can still place this, but there will come a time where this has to get disconnected. I'm going to leave it alone for now because they are still using this, but we'll keep an eye on that. How are we looking down here? Okay, progress is being made. That's good. That obviously still needs to be detonated. But I just need this one last piece to get put in. Then we can take care of that. I don't know where... Okay, here it is. Here it comes. Let's get that finished. We'll light this thing off. B for boom. Cool. So that makes things a little bit easier to deal with over here. Put this triple there. And then we will triple these as well. And then we are also going to have to triple this and triple this. But I want to set all these off at the same time, because this is also going to disrupt our pathing here. I just need to... Actually, you know what? It doesn't really matter if this is still connected or not, because they can go up either side. I know this one here isn't connected all the way out that way, but it is connected here, which connects across, so probably doesn't matter. See ya. That thing goes away. That thing goes there. This is ready to go. I guess I can wait for them to put these 2 dynamites in place here. Just get those slightly prioritized. And all that taken care of. Yeah, we're still low on catalyst. I think that's because we don't have enough maple syrup. But the maple syrup problem should, thank you lag, solve itself eventually when these things grow up, and they are nowhere close to that. Top-down view looks kind of cool, huh? Well, regardless, this is ready to go. Please don't get exploded. Thank you. Go ahead and put our station in there. And then, of course, we'll have to put in a ladder here. And that will get that connected very nicely. I guess I didn't have to blast this out. I could have tunneled, but you know how it goes. Then I can just put this back in place here very easily. And then we can start building on top of this stuff. Now, what we can also do is we can tie this ladder into the storage. I think that's probably going to be the smartest thing to do. So, what we'll have to do now, if I click the correct platforms, I can just build metal platforms on top of a stilt. Not that that really matters, but I think that is going to be the smart way to handle this. Keep in mind, this is going to have to get expanded. 1, 2, 3. Actually, no, it's not. If we're going super tall, we're going to do 2 here, and then we could do, on the next level, we could do 6 if we really wanted to. I don't think we want to do that. We could also expand this out sideways, like I was talking about. That would go there, that would go there, that would be the center, which means this would get expanded this way. I don't know, I'm kind of, you know, just shooting from the hip, so to speak, for a lot of this. I hope that is okay. But I do like it when stuff looks nice, you know? It's nice to have standards and stick to them. But I believe... Okay, that's actually not going to work that way. We'll come back and finish that at some point. And I should have taken care of these walls while I had the chance. Well, I'll tell you what. Why is the game paused? That's a very good question. They'll be able to get access to that. Then this will be a single. That'll be a single. Single, single. Double, double. That'll solve that problem. These will be all metal floors. And I know it doesn't line up, but it's fine because it's fine. And I said so. Alright, so let them do what they gotta do there. This is ready to go. B for boom. And then that should meet up very perfectly with that, and it does. So as long as they can, you know, still get in here, and I guess I have to check and see. Yes. We'll give them a path. That won't reach all the way through here probably, but that's fine. Oh. Did I make a mistake on my depth here? I guess I did. Well, I mean, it's going to be fine anyway because that's going to get blasted out with a tunnel. I just didn't think it was going to be quite like that. 1, 2, 3, 6. So yeah, it's going to need a couple. Oh. Okay. They did that one. All right. This actually should be perfect. Now the fun part, where I'm going to try to put this in, see if this works. Oh, cool. I honestly did not expect that to work. And since that is at the same height as what this would be, I'm about 99% sure this should be totally fine. It'll be hidden enough for it to look fine, and we're just going to not worry about it. Now this also needs to be connected here. Can't forget about that. Obstructed by... Oh, who's the idiot that put that there? Okay, well, that was me. Thank you, lag. Make sure this gets out of there before I accidentally cover that up. I'm glad I checked that. Connect there. Connect there. And now this is a much, much more useful thing. Love to see a plan come together. That's... Oh, come on. Get back down there. I'm going to give them one more path just in case. And that should be a whole lot better. Very good. Very good. Now, I haven't forgotten about these beavers over here. I did say I was going to, you know, get rid of all these housing things down here, but honestly, I kind of like the chaos a little bit. But we also have opportunities to make it look slightly less terrible. We can put in some Torii gates and everything over here as well. So, they want to have 3 different well-being categories: ordinary, gorgeous, and great. And the great are these two on the right, gorgeous is in the middle, and then the ordinary is right here. So this, like I've said, basically every time we've used it, is a gate that existed when Timberborn was in demo, which is a very, very long time ago. But I like the idea of putting one of these right outside our little hidden cave here. Right? You know, the the kind of weirdo whatever thing. So I'm going to do that, and that's just fine. Get those things out of there. I'm going to connect this path over here as well. Maybe we'll put some other stuff here. We really don't need to have all these builder sets everywhere. We probably should clean those up. But that's fine. These aren't going to reach the housing or anything. I just, you know, liked how that looked. But we can put a couple more of these in various locations around. And also, you know, like right in front of these station entrances, if we had a better way to get these beavers in and out of here. Somebody put this up here for some reason. Look at all those bots going through that thing. And now I've got space right here. If we decide we don't need this path anymore, which I honestly don't remember how a bunch of stuff over here is laid out. That probably doesn't need to be set up like that. We can just take this medical bed away because no one's using that. And then, okay, what's on top of this platform? Okay, we probably don't need that either, but we can replace it with something else. Alright, so just bear with me here, folks. We're messing with stuff that we haven't adjusted in a very, very long time. But just some nice stairs here. That'll get that connected, which is going to remove the need, with the exception of this house right here, which also probably should just go away. And then, therefore, remove the need to have that at all. Then we don't need to have any of this. In fact, I can just go ahead and get rid of that all at once. The reason behind doing this is so that I can, right here, come on, lag, just put a single ladder, and then we put some platforms, and then on top of those platforms, that guy right there. Why not? Why not? That works. And then in this space right here, we have just enough room to put a frog statue. Who doesn't want to have one of those in their neighborhood, right? Just pop that guy right there. Should be a nice benefit to those beavers. And then we have some space over here to put some other stuff like our different... we got the iron gate. I'm on the wrong level. Ah, I forgot that's there. Okay. Well, I still want to put one of these over here. Not really a lot of great spots to do that. Get it? Great, because anyway. Not a lot of tremendously good places to put stuff here, but if I do one of those, that's fine. That'll cover a decent amount of this stuff. It's actually kind of... Okay, there we go. That's what that actually covers. That's fine. Got some other spots here that might work. Campfires outlined with that might be kind of nice. Just things to think about as we continue going about our business. I also, I do want to build this in a, you know, like a pool of water or something that has to have a good place for that to go. And we have this space right here that isn't being used. So I figured this would probably be a decent spot to do it. So if I were to just create a little bit of a pool, we can, because we have the technology, we can connect it to the same bit of tunnels that this gets connected to, which would be right here. But also, we have this right here that I think would be very simple for us to connect. Why? Okay, that's a bot that just exploded. All right. If I make this... Okay, leave that there. Let's say 5 by 3. What is the size of that? Okay, that's going to be 5 by 4 required size. All right, so we can put one more. Not that building. One more there. Should be able to make this. Oh, it's 5 by 5. How am I... How did I make it this far? Is it actually going to be able to fit? Well, we'll find out. Just put that there. It might need to be 7 by 5. In fact, I'm Almost certain that is going to be the case, but let's just check. Let's check and see, because that's going to look probably the nicest it can right about there. I could move it over one if I really wanted to, but... Thank you, lad. Okay, so that does fit. That does fit there. Now, what I need to do is I need to connect this before before they actually build this. We need to get this blasted down to the same level as this, and then we need to put a sluice in at the same height level that will keep it closed, or else this whole thing will flood based on everything else. This here is currently set to a depth of 0.55 because I didn't want to flood the aquatic farm. That, well, I can't go higher than 1.0 because that's the level of that thing there. But I can have another tunnel come up through here, and then that will fill this to a certain point, provided we have a mechanism in place to get the water in the tunnel a little bit higher. The only limit that it has to have is here. This one can either be removed or moved up one level. We take a look outside here, and this is all just regular land with nothing else doing. So all we've got to do is just move this sluice up one block and have enough space here to where it has an outlet at that same height. I think the easier thing to accomplish is going to be to move this sluice back one level and up one by making this a tunnel piece right here. So, come on, click the wrong thing again. That becomes a tunnel. This sluice gets removed. Right now it doesn't matter if this gets taken out or not because this doesn't open up anywhere, and this sluice is protecting this right here. So that will get removed. Without disturbing anything else here, this will get moved back. I'll just have to put this sluice here. That sluice will go there, and then this will get filled in. It'll basically be the same exact thing. This drops down from that height to here, and then we have an offshoot tunnel to come here, and then because of the way that the head pressure works, it'll just come out this hole right here. If that didn't make sense, I'm sorry. That's the best I could possibly think of to try and solve the problem. But that just needs to go down one, and then this needs to become a tunnel, and that will solve all of our problems. So, just, bear with me. The method to my madness will be made apparent at a time that is of my convenience. That's already done. I'll just go ahead and blast this out. This will become a ladder right there, which will allow us to, of course, get inside the tunnel. And it's going to make sense. It's going to make sense. These trees are still growing, looking good. How are we doing up here? Alright, this hasn't been... Okay, there's still a couple left. That's good. They're waiting on explosives. We have tons of explosives, so I'm not sure why it's taking so long. But we should... That's already filled. As soon as this is done, this is going to flood back here, and that should fill up the pool to exactly the right height, and then we can put the monument in there, and it's going to look really nice. And I'm going to be pretty happy with that. So one more piece. One more piece. Go ahead and get that prioritized like that's actually going to matter. And we'll come back and mess with that. But this is all ready to go. B for boom. And now I can come back and I can put my metal platforms in place, the 3x3s. Thank you, lag. And then we have to deal with all of these things going around the outside, which aren't really a problem. But, you know, to make things look nice, you just gotta do it the way you gotta do it. Put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there. This space will be open, but it has to also have platforms so they can get into stuff, and that will be double platform, put a ladder here just because that is a space that will require it, and then we'll put double platform, probably could have been overhangs, but I'm not going to worry about it. Large warehouse, bam, 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 nope, wrong, there. Get that connected with some pathing. And then we come over here, and then we rotate this so I can actually, there we go. Food. Bread, carrots, cattail crackers, grilled chestnuts, grilled potatoes, grilled spatterdock, honey buns, maple pastries, and man, those things are so bad for you. You ever look at the nutrition facts on one of those things? I used to get those all the time when I was in college. There was a vending machine in one of the classroom buildings. And I was like, oh, hey, cool. This is like $1.10 or something. And then I'm sitting there like, man, what? Like, they made this out of, like, concentrated yuck. But you don't care. Because you're 18 and, like, this has calories and sugar, and I'm tired. And you're like, okay, maybe I'm not going to buy those anymore. And then I kept doing it anyway because that's how that works. But now we have stuff being built in this tower structure. And we can come through here and build ourselves some interesting looking windows. I do like the idea of having these things kind of just repeated up like this. Obviously the corner piece is going to have to be what the corner piece is. But if we were able to leave some windows on the outside of this, which I suppose would make sense, just right in the center of each of those things, and you have an idea what is inside each of those, and I think that is going to look pretty cool. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. I mean, I personally think it's a great idea, but you're obviously free to form your own opinions. Just like nice little windows into what's in storage. And then I guess I could do the same on the side as well, just centered on that. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll leave it in that corner because that's where that hole comes out. Man, I'm having too much fun with this. They're going to have to do something about me here. And then, of course, this will get brought over that way. And then I will do the same up here. Now, building this might end up being a little annoying, but, you know, I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be just fine. Get that. Oh, I didn't get those connected across the top. All right, we'll fix that. There we go. The ladder, if I extend it up 2 more blocks, will allow them to just build all that from the top, and we probably aren't going to have to worry about it. Yeah, that should be fine. They can get on top of all this. All right, now I don't see water here, which is a little concerning. Did they not finish the tunnel? Okay, so that's hooked up. Okay, it hasn't. The water level has not raised enough. This is still dumping constantly. Timberbot 2790. That's a lot of Timberbots. Okay, so let's leave that alone for a little bit. And try to remember what. Aha! Yes, I was working on this. Still working on building that. It looks like a bunch of carrots sticking out of the ground, which is kind of funny. But how are we looking here? Do we make a good? Now this is not going to come up out of the hole because this has not been moved yet. So what we will need to do is, I know I'm probably driving you insane moving this around like this. This is going to have to move. This might cause flooding if we're not careful, but this is ready to go. So first, I'm going to build this. This is going to be set to close at downstream depth of... why is that? What does this one say? 0.9. Oh, okay, because there's a block below it. That's why it's like that. I'm going to have this close at, say, 0.8 should be fine. But we have to have that built. They can build this from the top here. Once that's done, this sluice is going to go away, and it's going to be immediately replaced as fast as we can with a regular block. Now I see that's in place there. Let's turn this back on. It's toward the end of the workday. Let's extend it by 2 hours just in case. Why can I not delete this? Is it because there's something on top of it? That's almost certainly why. Alright, this platform has to go away. Why can I not delete that? Is it because there's... Ah. I see. You know, I really should have anticipated this. I did not. You can't... Oh boy. All right. Oh no, it's the one that supports this. Okay. New plan. New plan. Please, please don't tell me this supports the platform with the... Okay, what is there actually a thing below this? What's this? Yes, okay. Well, it doesn't support the station. That's okay. We're just gonna, you know, have this be mildly less convenient to get to for a while. Okay, to do this the way that I need to do this, I need to move this back one more, and I need to build another structure around what we have here. This is open. That's fine. That's fine. I can just have this be a single thing here, and that's going to work out. I can have them, you know, blast a little bit more of this with the help of our tunnels. In fact, I probably should just go ahead and do that. I'm going to have to put some of these around like this, and then, because of how this is set up, that sluice is going to have to go away. That is going to have... Well, I guess this is going to... Oh, decisions I made 25 episodes ago coming back to haunt me now because I didn't think I was ever going to be doing this. Anyway, long story short, this entire stack here has to go away very temporarily. Or, wait, no it doesn't. I can just have this always open. Yeah, I can just have this be open all the time. But I do have to move this back. All right, I'm glad I caught that. You know, smarter people than I probably would have already made a comment about that in the comments that I have not read yet because the video is not yet posted or complete. But all I've got to do now, actually, is I can make that a regular levee, and then this has to be the sluice. That will be set to... Why is that still only say 0.95? That shouldn't matter. I don't think. Yeah. Okay, well, regardless, this is what we have to build. It'll make sense. It'll make sense. They should be able to access all of that from up top, so... Once this gets... There it is. There it is. That needs to say 1.8. And then that will just, you know, be what it's going to be. Some of this water is going to have to go away. There's still no water here yet, because of course not. So now it says closed, because the downstream depth... Okay, now it's going down. There we go. Now it's open. Now we come back down here. This sluice, thankfully, is not going to have to be removed. I'm just going to permanently open it. And then that should go up very quickly. And we should see water coming up here, if I've done this correctly, in a very short period of time. It's also possible that I did not do it correctly, and I just wasted a bunch of your time. Okay, it is very slow. There it goes! There it goes! Oh, man, I'm so happy that worked. That was going to be so embarrassing. That was going to be so embarrassing if I hadn't done that correctly. But I did. So, now... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, that doesn't need to be flooding. Doesn't need to be flooding. Please stop. Please stop flooding. That's not growing, is it? Okay, it's closed. I let too much water in. It's continuing. That shouldn't be a thing. That should not be a thing because this cannot let water back in. This is always open, and that's fine. But there shouldn't be any more water coming into this because this is how all the water gets in, and it says downstream depth is 1.76. This is more depth than 1.76. This is higher than the height of the sluice to begin with, so I don't know how more water is coming out of this. I don't know if that's just overflow that's going to have to evaporate, disappear, because it's not getting any bigger. And I click on this. Downstream depth is still 2 point. I'm just gonna lower this to 1.5. Should still be closed. So how is downstream depth from here at 1.8 if this is higher than that? They're at the same, yeah, they're at the same height. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. See, I was so proud of myself. You could hear it. It doesn't always work. Doesn't always work out the right way, folks. Well, regardless, in theory that should work. And I don't think I'm going to have to be able to get back down in here ever, so I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to have them finish this thing. Let's hope this does not continue to flood. It should eventually evaporate and be fine. Now the district center is flooded, which is unfortunate, but that is that's about the best we can do right now. Just let it be what it's gonna be. But that's gonna look fantastic, sitting in that little pool of water there. I forgot how much time it takes to build these. Just about done. Oh, they cut it off at 92%. There we go. There we go. All right. Now that should immediately boost our well-being. Oh, it's only a +1. Okay, never mind. Well, still helps. That is set to 1.7. That is fine. This extra water just has to evaporate. All right, let's move around over here. Hey, look at this. This finally got fixed. Get that out of there, get that out of there, and then I just have to put in the Fountain of Joy. Why does this not go in? Is that because there's... that's probably why. There we go. And that goes there. Do we want the Fountain of Joy stuff to be facing this? I think we do. Let's turn that around. Look at that. They're keeping careful watch over the dance hall. And this has greened up this area substantially. Looks pretty good. This is making some nice progress here. And I guess I need to put in fences into all these, since that is the edge of the map. Then I put a fence there, put a fence there. Then come over here, put a fence there, put a fence there. And then this needs to have a top on it. Remember, our maximum height has already been reached. So this is going to be a perfect opportunity for us to utilize levees and then these other different designs, types of things we can put up here. So, you know what would go really, really nicely on the very top level of all this stuff? How about some rooftop terraces with some nice views? So if we did that, I could put 1, 2, 3, 4 of them here. If I rotate very slightly, I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 be weird or whatever. But if I just do this, I think that's going to look nice, and then I can put in some other stuff in different locations. But for us to do the rest of what I think we're going to want to do, I'm going to have to put some platforms there and there just to support whatever, and there as well. And then from that point, I suppose we could just do rooftop terraces all the way to the end if these weren't made of dirt, but they are, so this is going to have to suffice going like that. That will be connected just like so. And then the rest of this can be dealt with as we feel inclined. I personally feel like it would look really cool if we had these large roofing pieces just kind of put in a couple of different spots, but maybe I want to leave this open for you guys to decide, because this also could just be completely open to the outside. Just have stuff like this where we could put like a single ring of levees up around whatever, or we could do whatever, but that's an improvement. It's food storage. It's close by. It's not really directly connected to all of this, but we can somewhat easily make that a thing by connecting probably... I know we have that, but We could have this one do kind of the same thing here, where we go underground, so to speak. Just have that go there, just blast this out. Same kind of deal, just go underneath. Make that a pretty simple thing that's working there. Alright, good, our flood is over, and now this is the correct height. I am a lot prouder of that than I probably should be. But, okay, those are still at 52%. How is this already at 56 minutes? Man, that's what happens. I like that a lot. It's okay, don't get too proud of stuff that isn't really that big of a deal. But this is already starting to look nice. We can have some beavers start to move in. Just slowly integrating these lodges as necessary. And probably start wrapping this episode up in a little bit here. I'm almost certain now at this point I'm going to have to do more than 45 episodes. Some of you will be very happy to hear that, and some of you will not, but it is what it is. That platform can now go away. This will be connected very easily right there. And then I guess this other side probably should have one as well, but for now, things are looking pretty good. I'll just continue unpausing these. I like this a lot. I think this will look a whole lot better when I'm finished with it, but overall, looking pretty good. I still want to put another one of these big ones over here, but I am very pleased. I'm very pleased with this. Obviously, there's more stuff we have to do, like building our Tower of Doom thing right here. That's going to be something I'm going to have to work out, like I said in the beginning of the episode. I'm going to have to work that out by myself and probably just time-lapse the construction of it, or else it would be like a 5-episode saga, and we really, as much as fun as I am having with this playthrough, I really am. We can't just keep having this until it's like 70 episodes, because we're deep into the water beavers and the Project 1K playthrough as well. So, unfortunately, this is going to have to get retired at some point once everything is actually done. All that being said, very, very, very happy with the progress today. I love where this is going, and I'm so glad you choose to stick around and watch these videos 43 episodes into this series, because I think this is probably among the best playthroughs we've ever done. And that's the goal, right? You keep going, you keep getting better, you keep doing more interesting, more fun things, and at the end of it, you come out with a little bit more knowledge about the game and a sense of accomplishment. So I appreciate you guys supporting the video, supporting the channel, supporting me, Beard Boosters especially, directly financially contributing to ensure these videos can continue, and I can, you know, pay my bills and afford to exist. So I really appreciate those folks. It was brought to my attention recently that there was a mistake I'd been making with the recognition list that you see on the screen. So if you are a current Beard Booster, you have an active membership, please check and make sure that your name is in the correct position, because sometimes, you know, people change account names or they migrate to a different account, and for whatever reason, stuff can just end up getting dropped off the list, or you don't have the right amount of months next to your name because you changed something, but it's still, you know, the same person paying every month, and I never want that to happen. So thank you for reaching out to me if you already have. If you have not and you see an error, please always feel free. Tag me in Discord, tag me in a comment, send me an email even. But I want to make sure that you're being recognized appropriately for supporting the channel, because I truly cannot do this without your support. I never want it to be a situation where you think that I've, you know, left you off the list for whatever reason, because I really try my best not to make mistakes with that. But there's 1,500 names. It's really, really hard. And until I develop a better solution than just, okay, here's a notepad document with all the names in different month things, and I look at every single thing every single time I make a video, and then I have to change and copy-paste stuff around, and then sometimes stuff gets left off because, well, it's 1,500 individual names that have to be constantly maintained. But yes, please let me know if there's ever any problems. I promise you I will fix them as fast as I can, and I just want to make sure that you guys understand that. But that's all the time we have for this one. Whatever it is you're doing with the rest of your day, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you back again on Thursday for this series, tomorrow for Project 1K, and Friday for more water beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.